Standard work today for leaders, part four. We're going to talk about a few things. One of the first things I want to talk about is what should a leader standardise? And then the second thing I want to actually look at is what is a leader looking to confirm when they make standard work and daily management checks throughout their day. Okay, so let me just share my whiteboard again with you, and I'll get to writing some things up. Here it comes. So, first things first, we've got to ask ourselves, what should a leader standardise? There's just a few simple things. Leaders have a lot of conflicting schedules, challenges throughout a day. You're not necessarily driven continually by the same repeated process day in, day out. But there are some basic things that you should standardise in the way that you operate. One of those would be your routines. Okay, so routines are the bits and pieces of your day that provide consistency to other people as well. If they can see that you're a consistent, routine-driven person, that will encourage them to be consistent and routine-driven. And this can be as simple as turning up to a team huddle at 8 o'clock every morning and listening in and sometimes being involved. The second thing that's important, and this relates to things like routines and team huddles, and, making an appearance on a daily basis in a consistent manner, is questions. You should ask consistent questions. You want to be able to be known as the person who asks why. Why is something going well? Why isn't it going well? What are you doing about it? How are we dealing with it? And so on and so forth. This can be very objective and consistent for people, which allows you to be assertive, but play the ball, not the person. So we're interested in what the process may be working well or maybe not be working well, and showing a keen interest in it. So asking why a lot is a good thing for a leader. It shows a genuine interest for what the team's doing. The third thing that a leader needs to be able to do pretty consistently is give compliment, right? So this might seem a little bit unusual, but I can guarantee you, if there's one thing the human brain likes more than anything, it's receiving a compliment and feeling like they've been appreciated for a job well done. So make sure that you give compliments when a job's well done. It doesn't have to be big fanfare, doesn't have to be a big deal, but at least recognise someone's efforts. Now, when things aren't going well and there really isn't the ability to give a compliment, that's okay. We can compliment people on how hard they're working to resolve the issue. We can compliment them on how well they're using their lean tools to improve the situation. We can compliment on how well they stop to fix when there are problems. And as you can see from these three things, routines, questions, and compliments, we can drive some very positive behaviours and very accountable behaviours in the business. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about is what a leader's confirming when they make standard work and daily management checks. It's important as a leader that you do check in on, are people following the standard work? Are they being consistent with the standard work? So this it forms part of your daily management checks, and of course it forms part of routines. It means you ask questions, and it means where do you give compliments. I think probably one of the things that's most important here is that, are we moving towards our KPIs? So that is what you're really looking to try and identify with your checks of people using standard work and just general daily management. Are we moving towards the KPIs? Because that is moving us towards our strategy. Okay. And of course, as a leader in a business, you're responsible for the strategy. Okay. One of the things that's really important here is, are we closing the gap between any effects or defects and the root cause of those defects? So it's really important to recognize that, are we getting closer to the point, to that root cause? If there are problems, if you're seeing KPIs that are not trending in the right direction, your job is to keep asking, how are we closing this gap? How are we getting towards the root cause? What is the problem? How are we dealing with it? So on and so forth. This is really important. From that, what you're actually creating is an environment where you're encouraging stop to fix. Okay. Stop to fix is just one of the hardest things to do in a business, in any operation or any process. It's very tempting just to work around the problems or come back and fix that later or whatever it might be, or even pass the defect on to another part of the process or another part of the business. Stop to fix creates such a different environment where people are really focused on making sure that they don't pass on defects to another part of the process or a customer. And to that end, the other part of what a leader should be looking to do daily is encourage process quality checks in process. We quite often put quality and QA checks at the end of a process, or maybe the end of a major step, maybe before a product or a service goes out to a client. But really, we need to be, as leaders, encouraging in process quality checks. If we're building it into our standard work and our standard work is identifying when we do have shortcomings in our quality checks, we're going to be in a much better situation to deliver a high quality product to our customer or the next stage of the process.